Hi, it's time for Mommy School again. And this month's theme is Face Your Fears. This is the second lesson. It's the second one out of a three-part series. It's not very long, but it's very powerful. I just want to take a moment to review what we covered on our last session. And one of those things that we talked about was a quote from Churchill. And that quote was given during World War II when the whole nation was being devastated. And Churchill stood up and, like a good leader, he gave a tool that would convince the heart and the mind of what they needed to do in that hour. You see, fear is crippling. Fear paralyzes you. So the things that you might be able to do, fear tells you that there is no hope, that there is no chance that you can succeed. Some of us are listening to those very words right now. We look at America and we say, there's no hope here. We look at our children and we see the generation, the counterculture revolution that's taking place. And we wonder, how much worse can this thing get? Well, that's fear that's talking to you. When your head starts to fill up with those kinds of words, we've got to stop. And we got to think about what we're saying and where they're coming from. Is that coming from the kingdom of God? Is that coming from faith? Or is this a lie? Now, lies can look very real. I'm not going to candy coat the position of our nation right now. And church and moms, I hate to say it, but we allowed it. We abdicated the responsibility that we have to raise our own children. We turned it over to schools. We turned it over to government. We turned it over to churches. It is not a 20-year-old youth pastor's job to raise your rebellious 16 and 17-year-old. That 20-year-old is just a baby too. Your job is to be mentoring and discipling the pastors of the next generation, not turning your kids loose because you don't know what to do with them. So that quote that Churchill gave during that critical time was, fear is a reaction, but courage is a decision. So your assignment last week was to take the bull by the horns, that phrase that we got from our cowboys, that when something tough comes, you've got to turn towards it and face it head on. We don't run from it. We're not going to run from the hard stuff in our families. We're not going to run from the poopy diapers. Somebody has to change them, moms. We know this. This is instinctual. But when our teenagers are acting up and they're going through a rough patch or a tough season, so many of you just put your head down. And you hope that when you look back up, that patch will be gone. Or when they're out with their boyfriends and they're doing things with their boyfriends that they should not be doing, we look the other way. Some things take hard conversations. They're not fun. I can't speak for you, but my children would punish me by not talking to me. We have a good relationship. I have 4 grown children. So as I go through these phases, I'm telling you, I've been in every one of them multiple times. And then we were professional youth pastors and camp counselors, and we've had schools. We've worked with literally tens of thousands of kids and lots of moms. And I'm putting all of my attention to you as moms because you are the epicenter of this entire nation, of culture. You hold the key because you are the one who is commissioned to take the word of God and nurture it in your children. We're told this in Deuteronomy 6. Most of us don't even know the word. We've been void of it for a couple of generations. Last week, we also talked about the knitting circle, that we have a need, we have a gap of moms that would come together, and moms would mentor moms who would mentor the next generation of moms. We had accountability and support systems. And right now, we've got moms who are out there listening to the latest talk show of moms that don't even share your values. So, moms, we're going to face our fears. We're going to take back our own lives. We're going to see transformation starting here with us. We're going to bring it into our homes, take back our homes, nurture our children, disciple our children, share these tools with our girlfriends, our sisters, our mothers if they need them. You know, we have moms who don't have any of these skills. And so if you're a daughter whose mom doesn't have any skills, love on her. She doesn't know. We missed it. We've missed it for 2 generations. It's time we build them back up. Before you know it, we're going to see some things change if we will do the hard work. And believe me, this is going to be hard. This is not for cowards, but we can do it. So last week you listed all your fears. And what my hope is that you would really dig deep. You know, sometimes we just go, yeah, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm really good. Good until you're not. We've got to get real. And that's what last week's assignment was. Just get real. I mean, I didn't want to admit that I had anxiety coming up this year, but I had a lot of anxiety. And I couldn't quite figure out what was going on in my heart because I've got all these tools. So I stopped and did all these assignments again on myself. I started to write down, well, what am I so afraid of? What is it? What is bugging me? Why am I so anxious? Why am I so frustrated? Remember, anger is secondary. Frustration is secondary. So when you're responding out of anxiety, out of anger, out of frustration, you got to take a step back and find out what the root causes underneath those are. So that's what today's lesson is. And before we dive into it, I want to give you our verse that's going to sustain us this week. Fear not, for I am with you. If that's all you can memorize, that's enough. Fear not, for I am with you. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. Isaiah 41. Remember, if all you can get is the first part, he's good. Fear not, I am with you. Everything you face this week, fear not, for the Lord is with you. So our assignment this week is to dig deeper. So last week we got real with ourselves. This week we're going to dig deeper. And the way we do this is I want you to understand how God made your brain. It's awesome. You have the ability to stop and think about your thoughts. Now, I don't know if any animals have the ability to do this. I kind of don't think so. I think it's something that God gave us to be able to be reflective. This is called metaphysics, the ability to think about your thinking. I want you to go back to your list from last week, and I want you to choose the item that is making you the craziest, the one that you're wrestling with the most, okay? And then in your worksheet for this week, looks like this, worksheet number 2, we're going to ask ourselves some questions. I am afraid of, and just put that item down. Stop and think about it. I am afraid of. Make it concise. Question number 2. Why am I afraid of blank? And you're just going to really stop and think. Really think. Why are you afraid of that? And you're going to put down that answer. Number 3. Why am I afraid of? So you're going to ask the exact same thing. And I want you to insert into the blank the answer that you gave for number 2. So what you're doing is you're going deeper and deeper and deeper. So here's an example. Now, this is probably not on your list, but I'm going to put it on here because one of my fears is doing these videos. Okay? I mean, I've put these off for 25 years, for 20 years. Back in the day when we had AOL.com, my name was Deanna R. at AOL. That tells you what a dinosaur I am. I mean, I got to use my name. And so we're going a long ways back. None of the programs worked together. We were one step up from Pong. Yup, I was an early user because my brother did a mission for 4 years. He took his children. They went to Russia, to Siberia actually, and the only way we could communicate with them was this weird thing that he set us up with on our computers called the internet. We had no idea what any of this stuff even was. So it was early days. After we had used it for a little while and it was so basic that I started thinking, wow, this would be great to do Bible studies on. We didn't really have blogs, not so much. And we definitely didn't have YouTube. We didn't have videos. So I made up a word. I wanted to do vlogs, but I was going to lose 10 pounds first because it was right after having my 23-year-old. So this is more than 20 years away, more than 20 years ago. Well, 10 pounds turned to 20 pounds, turned to 30 pounds, turned to 40 pounds. And I finally have had to decide that I'm never going to be thin enough or look like the Miss Americas, and I need to just get over myself. So I wrote this down. Why am I so afraid of doing videos? Well, my answer was because I'm afraid that I will look really stupid on them. Okay? I take that and I put that in question number 2. And then I ask myself again, why am I afraid of looking ridiculous on a video? Well, because I'm afraid people will reject me. Oh, now we're getting to something of substance. Now take that and you put it on the next question. Why are you afraid that people will reject you? Well, we're a pretty politically loaded environment right now, and I've been rejected in the past on other things, and I just want everybody to love me. Put that into the next question. Well, why are you afraid that people won't love you? Well, because I want everyone to love me. And it just gets down to the point of significance and my value. Well, if I value who I am, if I understand my identity, and if I can look at that bottom core issue and take that bull by the horns and say, not everyone's going to love me. Not every video is going to hit the smack center of the bullseye. Not everything I say is going to be eloquent. Not everyone is going to agree with everything that I do. And maybe people will like it, maybe they won't. But what if we are able to reach moms who need a mom, who need a mentor, who need someone to encourage them, someone to tell them that the job that they're doing is the most important job that they could ever do, and that their sacrifice is not unknown, and that there's a God who knows every single morning that they get up out of bed and stay married and raise a human being. And then you weigh that against my insecurities. And there comes a point, you got to get over yourself. It just took me much longer to get over myself because I always thought I was going to lose the weight, be ready to go. Instead, I just got older and fatter. And I'm okay with it. I can embrace that. What I'm not okay is I'm not okay knowing that there's moms out there who have no one to turn to. I'm not okay with watching another generation of children being raised without the most basic of coping skills and life skills. So, taking back my fear, putting it into peace, making videos. So for you, I need you to do the same thing. Work your way through that worksheet. Memorize your verse, put it on your heart. Fear not, for I am with you. Oh, and only do this with one item. We're going to have time to go back and hit all the other ones, but I just want you to focus on this one item and let it marinate for a few days. Just really ask the Lord over and over again. Well, why? And when you think you have the bottom, most basic level, ask yourself again, why? I'm going to leave you with one more thing too. in how the brain works. So cool. So your brain has that conscious part and the unconscious part. And all those 400 billion, stimuli are always going into the unconscious part. And only a fraction of this is going into the conscious part. Your brain is a sucker for the why questions. When you ask it why, it loves to solve mysteries. It goes to work overtime trying to answer your why questions. So it's like a skeleton key that takes you from your reactions, from what you're doing out here. The why question goes inside that unconscious side through the metaphysics. That's how this metaphysics works. And it begins to get you into the reactionary side. So when you're going deeper and deeper and deeper, you're stopping the instinctual reactions and you are putting a conscious decision onto those reactions so that you can be actionary instead of reactionary. All right, that's important to know. So let's go back to fear not, for I am with you. Isaiah 41. Bless you guys.